Hello, my name is Candy and this is Cotton by Candy, and today I'm going to be sharing my New Year's resolutions. I'm filming in a little bit of a different location today. I pulled all of my Santa Claus eating Christmas festive gloomy bears down from my massive collection and made a little Christmas display here in my bedroom, so I thought it would be a nice festive place to film. I hope the lighting and sound is okay. And today I'm wearing my reversible duster coat, which I made last winter, and it's on the super cute ribbon octopus side today. You can't really see the details, but if you're interested in more about this, then go look at my very first makes video here on this channel. So I was chatting recently with the really lovely Boz from A Girl Called Boz here on YouTube, and we were chatting about how a lot of sewists really like to reflect back on how their year went at the end of the year in regards to their sewing and what they made and what worked and what didn't, and especially about what their goals are to achieve in the year ahead. So we thought it would be really fun to put together like a little questionnaire about that topic, and we'd really love it if you would take a part in this as well. Boz is really sweet and she makes some super cute stuff as well. I know if you're on my channel you probably like novelty prints, and she makes some stellar fabric choices, so definitely go and check her video out as well. She will be uploading at the same time. And if you would like to take part as well, please, you don't have to wait for an invitation at all. Just jump right in, and if you do decide to upload a video or make a blog post or even talk about it on Instagram, please put a link down below to wherever you post your New Year's resolutions. So we know that sewists love a good pun. We've called it New Year's Resewlutions. There are 5 questions about the year that's just gone and the year that's coming, and here's mine. Even though I did help write these, I don't know them off the top of my head, so excuse me for looking at my phone. The first question is, what was your favourite make of 2017 and why? So when I was thinking about this, I actually really surprised myself. I thought that my favourite make would be something luridly coloured, or like a crazy print, or something that was kind of a statement. But in fact, the thing that I've gotten the most wear out of, and the thing that I'm probably the happiest with, is my black and white mini button-down skirt. So even though this was just a toile for a bunch of really brightly coloured ones that I did eventually make, I've worn it so much this year. It hits all of the sweet spots, it fits me really well, it's got pockets, it's a really kind of versatile colourway, and also being that it's a separate, it has been something that I've been able to wear in a ton of different ways as well. And it's really kind of changed my perspective on the things that I want to sew in the future. I think sewing maybe simpler things might be the way to go. It was basic, but it's not plain, and I definitely want a little bit more of that in my wardrobe. Alright, question number 2 is, what did you attempt in 2017 which you will not be doing again next year, and why not? So for me, this was self-draping and kind of fitting a dress without a pattern at all. So this was my mint green polka dot dress from a few months ago. I had the image in my head for the silhouette that I wanted, and I kind of cut out the basic shape, and then I pinned and fit it to myself as I went. This would have been fine for a really drapey fabric, but it was kind of a stiff cotton, and in general I'm not very happy with the fit of it in the end. The dress is fine, it's wearable, it's just not exactly what I envisioned when I set out. And I know if I'd actually taken the steps to get my measuring tape out and drafted something to fit me from the beginning, I would have been much happier with the end result. So I was trying to take the easy way out, and I don't know, it wasn't worth it. Alright, so question number 3 is, what's something that you're going to continue doing into the next year? So this is something that worked really well in 2017, maybe you started it this year, and you definitely want to keep going with this habit or whatever it is into the next year. So for me, in 2017, I really started planning my makes a little bit more in advance, and also sewing a little bit more seasonally. In New Zealand, the seasons are not quite as extreme as they are now that I'm living in Japan, so I do have to be a lot more conscious about like not sewing jeans in summer because I won't wear them for 6 months. So I've definitely been a bit more proactive about planning really carefully. And about 90% of the fabric in my stash now has a plan for exactly what I'm going to make with it, which is not the case with my New Zealand stash at all. And although that can be a little bit overwhelming, it does make planning a lot easier. And kind of on the topic of the last skirt that I made, I would also like to continue making a lot of separates next year. In the past I made a ton of like statement dresses, which are great, but they're not that versatile. I can't wear them several times in a week and style them differently. I would usually wear the same dress maybe 2 or 3 times in a month maximum, whereas like a top or a jacket or a skirt, something like that, I can definitely wear a lot more frequently. And I don't know, it just feels like it's more of a worthwhile make. I also made a few accessories in the last year. I made a couple of necklaces and I made a bag, and again, those are kind of like everyday makes that feel really good to be able to wear super often, so yeah, definitely going to continue that into next year. But I think the number one thing that really massively increased my productivity in this last year was starting a vlog. So this year has been by far and away my most productive sewing year in my life. It has been so motivating knowing that there's a few people online that might be a little bit interested in what I make, so vlogging is definitely something that I'm wanting to ramp up a little bit more next year and do more often, and hopefully I'll have a little bit more to show you. Okay, question number 4 is, what are you going to try next year? So this can be a new pattern, a new technique, a new type of garment, maybe a habit that you're wanting to get into, anything like that. So for me, a technique that I'm wanting to try is I really want to get into embroidery. I recently had my old school Hardy Singer collapse and had to replace it with a brother. A kind of a newer digital brother, which I can do freehand embroidery on, so I'm really excited to give that a go. I don't know if I have the patience for hand embroidery. I'll give it a shot, but I don't have high hopes for it. But I can see this being a slippery slope where everything I made eventually ends up having some embroidery on it, and I really don't think that's much of a problem. Some garments that I really want to try are a pair of jeans and a bra. So I am a curvy Caucasian woman and I live in Asia, and I find finding jeans really difficult. They're often not curvy enough and they are always too short. I also, unsurprisingly, really love loud prints on my trousers, and I have some kind of thick cottons in my stash that are just gagging to be made into like high-waisted skinny jeans with like massive tropical prints on them. That's something that I would like to get done next month so I can get enough wear out of them before it really starts to heat up and I'm not able to wear them anymore. And wanting to make a bra is kind of a similar thing. My choices in Japan are like super push-up or sports bra, and there's kind of nothing in between in my size. It'd be nice to have like a comfy t-shirt bra that I can wear just kind of day to day. And it's also just a really good challenge just to say that I did it. Another goal is to make slopers for myself and for my partner so that I can finally start drafting patterns again. I really don't have the dedicated space for it in the house that I'm living in, which is why I've put it off. I was thinking I would get some like hockey knee pads so that I could crawl around on my kitchen floor and do it. But I was listening to the Love to Sew podcast recently, and they were talking about like cutting areas and areas for sticking together PDF patterns and that kind of thing. And someone mentioned putting like a board on top of another surface. Genius, oh my god. So what I'm gonna do is buy like a big board, they are quite cheap, there's a hardware store down the road, and turn my bed into like a drafting table. It's probably a little squishier than is strictly ideal, but it's still better than crawling around on my hands and knees. Alright, my last goal for next year is kind of a tentative one. I've been thinking about starting a blog. So I am fairly active over on Instagram already, and I have this blog here. But I don't know, I read a lot of sewing blogs and I feel like I'm missing out. But on the other hand, it is pretty late to be jumping on the blog train. I don't know if I've missed the boat. It's a lot of vehicle metaphors there. I don't know, please comment down below, what do you think? Are you still reading sewing blogs? Is it a dying medium? Should I give it a go? Or should I just stick with vlogging? Alright, the last question, question number 5, is a good one. Where do you see your handmade wardrobe at the end of next year? And also in 5 years? So I think it's really easy to be kind of focused on what you're sewing next month, what you're sewing next winter, and not really think about the long-term goals for your wardrobe. Obviously every sewist wants to have every item in their wardrobe to be handmade, but it's not really realistic. Although there are some amazingly productive sewists out there that I know are close to that, which is pretty superb. So for me, at the end of next year, I would like to have 6 more Lolita jumper skirts or one pieces. I've been wearing Lolita fashion a little bit more frequently, and it would be nice to have some variety because I only have a couple of dresses that I can wear at the moment. And in relation to that, I really need to start sewing like blouses and overskirts and underskirts and kind of more interesting things so that I can make the dresses that I do already have a little bit more versatile, so I don't have to wear them the same way every time that I wear them. I want more versatile separates. I'm definitely going to be making jeans next year and maybe a couple of jackets. They're definitely mostly going to be brightly coloured and in a crazy print. but I'll try and be good and make a couple that are maybe not solids but more neutral prints and some kind of versatile colours. And also I want to make a couple more bags, and I want to really focus on making jewellery and coordinating like necklaces and that kind of thing, especially for the novelty prints that I use. And related to that, I'd really love to try making hats. I want to start using up my scrap fabrics on berets if I could make that work, so I can be like super duper matchy matchy. So all of this to say that between the versatile separates and all of the accessories, that by the end of the year, hopefully I will be able to wear something me-made every day. And in 5 years, my kind of ultimate goal for my wardrobe is to have everything in my wardrobe handmade or hand altered or embellished. So I do have quite a lot of plain ready-to-wear clothes in my wardrobe that could definitely stand with some embellishment, like the embroidery that I mentioned earlier, or maybe adding a frill or a bit of lace, or cutting it up entirely and making a new garment. I would just really love it if nothing in my wardrobe could be bought in a shop. It's a lofty goal and I'm probably setting myself up for failure, but you gotta aim high, right? Alright, that's it. That was my 2017, and that's what I'm hoping to achieve next year. So I would like to tag 3 channels to take part in this, and hopefully they've got the time and will want to do it. First of all, Lisa from Emerita. She was the first sewing YouTube channel that I ever watched, and I would love to hear her answers to this because she's super funny and I think it would be entertaining. Next, Bianca from Vintage on Tap. She sews the most amazing vintage and retro clothes. Her wardrobe is beautiful and so different to mine, so I'm really interested in what she has to say about these questions. And lastly, Jessica from Lorraine. She's from Australia, and it's really nice hearing kind of a familiar accent when I watch her videos, and I'm always quite impressed with how prolific she is. She usually gets quite a lot sewn. So yeah, 3 kind of diverse makers. I hope you're all able to take part. And I'm also tagging you, even if you just write your answers down in the comments. I'm super interested in the sewing journeys of everyone else, so please let's open up that conversation. And if there is a vlogger that you are really interested in seeing these answers for, please tag them, even if you don't want to take part yourself. Also head on over to Boz's channel. I will link it down in the description box below. I'm really looking forward to seeing her answers, and the rest of her videos are really lovely as well. If you're interested in some behind the scenes of what I'm sewing recently and also my daily outfits, head on over to my Instagram @cottonbycandy and you can follow me there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!